I took the profit of $66,000. Then, the $19,000 was the profit from the short position taken just before. Additionally, I traded on BitGet, where I entered a short position at this point and made a profit of $24,000. If I calculate it, about $111,000. The reason I started the broadcast? Now, it's clear to everyone that a new all-time high point has opened, a correction has occurred, and I mentioned that we should focus on entering long positions now, so I took a long position from here. In the last broadcast, I had profits of over $400,000, and I'll focus more on the long side going forward. The shape appeared here as an impulse. I mentioned that I would take a long position after the ABC count when it drops, and if that doesn't work out, I would start a broadcast. But while I agree with the big picture view of taking long positions on every dip, I want to say that right now doesn't seem like a good price to go long. When I did the last broadcast around this point, I closed a long position here because it seemed like the impulse wave had completed. Then I switched to a short position briefly, and if it drops, I was considering taking profit at the 0.618 point and thinking about a long entry at the same 0.618 level. I wasn't saying I'll definitely go long here, but I'll enter after ABC counting and might enter at the 0.382 level. If entering at 0.618, the stop loss would be about 3%. So instead of mindlessly going long, let's wait for the ABC pattern and then enter long. That was the broadcast. One regret from that broadcast was that while a correction is needed from a long-term perspective, impulse makes things confusing in the short term. One thing I was thinking about but didn't mention was that after the impulse pattern appeared, if the correction goes down to 0.382 or lower, there was a possibility it could break and continue downward in an ABC pattern. I didn't mention this scenario. It's a bit disappointing, but that's how the last broadcast went, and we entered short here. And at the 0.618 line, I have placed an order here to take profit now. I decided this was a good opportunity to lock in some gains at this price point. Then on BitGet, some orders were executed and there was a rebound, but on OKX, none were executed and it went up. With a $10 to $20 difference, a rebound occurred. So when I saw the rebound, I thought, maybe in this bull market, it might just touch 0.618 and immediately bounce back. So I closed my OKX short position with almost no profit, and BitGet didn't have much profit either. So for this short position, briefly and quickly wrapped up the entry. And then the long position here went well. Normally I would have taken partial profits at the ABC rebound here, set my break-even stop loss, and then re-entered a long position in the 0.382 area when it dropped. That's the standard approach. As you all know, that's my trading method, but I just fell asleep. I was tired, and when I woke up, I found myself stuck in a long position. I watched it from here, but I had no choice but to set my stop loss here. That means this is not impulse. But the moment I was convinced my analysis was wrong, even though I was stuck, I decided to hold on to this long position, and when the rebound came, I closed it at break even. One regrettable thing, and this is a complaint about OKX, I pressed the close all button at market price when it was about $120 above my entry price. This only happens on OKX because when I pressed the market close for my 80 Bitcoin short positions, the order was executed, but the price slipped by $100. I wondered, why is the order book so empty? That was disappointing about OKX. And then I did a breakout trade here, which worked out pretty well for me. Then when it went up, I thought it would continue up in an impulse wave, but as soon as it broke the high, it dumped. So I thought it might form a short ABC pattern, and another correction might come because of that. So I took profit here too, and then something happened a little while ago. Looking at this, although it's a very short range, this looked like an ABC pattern to me. So I considered it as ABC, and here I viewed it as impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4 convergence, and 5. So this could be a short-term trading opportunity. Because if this is an ABC pattern, it will fall, and if this was an impulse, then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would form and break the high point. So I went short here, planning to take a small profit quickly at this point and set the stop loss here. If ABC is correct, I expect to see a profit, and even if it goes up and I'm wrong, with a small profit and break even, I'll still end up with a profit. So I went short. I entered 70 Bitcoin short here, took profit on 40 Bitcoins here, and while starting the broadcast, I took profit on 10 Bitcoins more here. So if I show you the trading records, the short position taken during the broadcast ended with almost no profit. After that, the long position that was exited at break-even resulted in a slight loss. I took the profit of $66,000. Then, the $19,000 was the profit from the short position taken just before. Additionally, I traded on BitGet, where I entered a short position at this point and made a profit of $24,000. If I calculate it, about $111,000, there was profit. And I tried to draw the trend, but if I set this as the starting point, the trend doesn't draw well. It's roughly this kind of trend. This channel may not be precise, but even if the channel breaks and enter again, I'll wait until a correction. And this is also ABC, so that's why I went into the short. And it surpassed the new high, but just because it hit a new high doesn't mean a correction won't happen. Some adjustments should come, even if they are not major. As I've mentioned several times in recent broadcasts, when it breaks through a new peak, just before it barely broke the previous high and immediately corrected, right? So breaking a new high doesn't immediately mean an uptrend, and previously when new highs were broken, deep corrections followed, and I think one wave has ended. The counting is a bit ambiguous, but still, won't there be a correction? Actually, my concern was this. For futures, I can somehow find entry points to buy, but it's different for spot. I don't know the timing to buy. So even in the broadcast right before breaking this new high, I said I wouldn't chase a long position just because it breaks the high. I don't know the entry point. So when a reasonable size correction comes, I will buy. But they said they didn't know when it would come, and now, right after breaking through, an adjustment is happening. If it falls this time, regardless of your patient level, it might be best to wait a bit. For those in spot trading, I always wait for the 0.618 due to my personality. So I'm thinking of waiting for 0.618 to buy. As for futures, of course, it's worth buying here. When there's a rebound, you can see short-term profit. But for spot, as you know, I prefer to buy once and see profit over a long cycle of several years. So I tend to buy cautiously. I don't think this place was impulse in the end. If this had been an impulse, it would have also come out as another one, but it's not an impulse. You might think it will fall in an ABC pattern, but that's not it. There might be another rebound hitting here again with a lower high and slightly higher low, and it could fall while dealing with performance quantity. Impulse has failed for now, but that doesn't mean it won't rise again. For example, there was no impulse here. However, it emerged as a complex correction and rose, increasing after convergence. Even without an impulse, it can still rise. Up to the peak, this was one wave. For example, after a correction, it doesn't appear a new wave is starting to rise further. I hope you pay close attention to this today. I can't believe it would be truly cruel if it stop hunts here and goes up. If it rises like this, people who had their longs liquidated would be really upset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This makes sense. These days, Bitcoin is leading Nasdaq, and it's happening again. Bitcoin's rebound is much stronger than Nasdaq's, confirming 30-minute chart divergence. It should go down a bit, so I'll lower it a little. It's predictable. I finished with a profit of $45,000. With this much left, there's nothing more to see. Really, if the training level increases here, this would be A, right? It will probably be B, and then we should consider the idea of moving up with CDE, because this trend is indeed correct. Then, as this is a trend, wave 4 can emerge and wave 5 can rise. And that's perfectly logical. Looking at the time candles now, they've switched to bullish. After the broadcast ends, I'll do one more comprehensive count, and when we broadcast early next week, I'll check which counting method is more reliable and let you know.